missile. Wait a minute, you say gods, but do you mean dogs? Yeah, that's kind of funny, because well, as I said, this is my second time, but I said last time that I never thought that gods is dog. Oh well, God is dog backwards. So yeah, of course not. Don't be silly. This is no time for ridiculous word games. You are standing just above the Rock of the Gods now. Take a good look at the monument. Monument, eh? Rock of the Gods, Temsik Park. The Rock of the Gods. Yep. The rock is buried in the ground right here. It's been there for these 10 years. Ever since that day it flew down from the heavens and showed us a miracle. A miracle? So this rock you've been talking about is a meteorite. Precisely. It dropped from the sky on that day 10 years ago. Yes, of course. Surely you know all about it. Me? That day I just happened to be passing through his park. I had no idea that they would change my destiny. The sun was going down, and through the gloom I heard the scream of a little girl. Yeek! Now you calm down and drop the weapon. So stay back. If you come any closer, I shoot her. Yep, this flashback again. I peeked out fearfully from the bushes and saw some shady figures. I didn't see the faces of a criminal clearly. I know I should do something to help, but I couldn't move. The tension was so thick it was painful. Just when I couldn't stand it any longer, that's when it happened. The sky started to burn and bluish white. And we get it in brown vision. When it crashed into the grounds, the meteor gave off a shower of beautiful fragments. And then I saw it. One of those beautiful fragments pierced into the criminal's back. The judgment of the gods was brought down on the park that day. "10 years ago, the little girl that was saved by the Rock of the Gods. Oh my, I can't believe it. The Rock of the Gods was given the name Temsik, and still today, it lies sleeping deep in the park's earth. I never knew about this Temsik. I always thought Detective Yod was the one who saved me. You were very young then, and you passed out from the shock of being taken hostage. Of course you wouldn't remember, but that's funny. A huge incident like that would have caused quite a stir. It's strange you never heard of it, Line. It is, isn't it? But now that I think about it, I remember I didn't want to think about what happened. I avoided the news and I never came back to the park again. That's why I didn't know anything about it. The meteorite was named Temsik after the name of this park that it fell in. And then the Rock of the Gods was forgotten. Now an awful thing is happening. They're talking about turning this park into a housing site. I'll never forget the miracle I witnessed that day. And so I take an up resident in this park. I'm trying to appeal to the people. Protect the park, the Rock of the Gods. That is my mission. I see. I'm taking you with me, Miss I. So then, 10 years ago, the little girl that was lying wasn't aware of the meteorite. I get that, but Detective Yode, on the other hand, there's no way he didn't know about this Temsik thing. And if he knew, and the man died, I took his life. Quote. What was that confession of his all about? The rock of the gods that fell from the sky 10 years ago changed the destinies of many people's lives, like the ripples of a pond when a pedal is dropped in. With every answer I get, I learn about a new mystery. Will I be able to break the chain of mysteries before dawn? Well, anyway, now that we have the evidence we need, we decide to meet up again in the minister's office. Besides, there are a few things I want to ask Detective Yode. We found the music box, Detective Yode. Good job, Line. I knew you would. Once everything has been resolved, I had wanted you to give this to him. Him? You mean Inspector Cadanilla, right? I don't suppose he'll ever forgive me. Detective Yode. Now then, let's get this thing open. There's a certain knack to doing it, you know? See? He calls that the knack. Looks more like a brute saying to me. Here you are. You should find scorch marks on the grip. Scorch marks? When Camilla built her contraption, she used a special kind of string. It's a kind of magic. Why do I have so much problem reading that sentence? It's a kind magicians use. It burns up in an instant and disappears. Why would little Camilla use something like that? I don't know, maybe because she's a detective's daughter? Not leaving any evidence behind and all that. In the case report there was mention of some scorch marks. When it happened, Camilla was watching from her hiding place. She saw the flame run through the gun, something she naturally didn't include in her design. I took the gun out of the frame and replaced it with a picture. If you remove the picture, you should find scorch marks behind it, on the frame too. And those marks should match up with the ones on the gun. In other words, sorry. It proves the contraption existed there in that room that day. And it didn't work the way the little girl intended, is that right? Exactly, some cowardly culprit modified the design. But that angle was never brought up in court. And so, as Justice Minister, I must call off the execution at this point. I knew I was right. It wasn't Detective Yode. Now we can finally prove that. Thank goodness. Thank you, Line. In those eyes of yours I see the eyes of that little girl from 10 years ago. Trick time. So yeah. See, I talked to him first, right? What's the matter? I just don't know. What should I have done 5 years ago? Back then, nobody had any way of knowing the true nature of the manipulator. It wasn't anybody's fault that we didn't know the truth. Troll. You sent a message to a friend. Okay, anyway. It wasn't Amber's fault that we didn't know the truth. Do you really think so? Of course, besides, what's important right now is deciding what to do next, am I right? She's right, Mr. Minister. Yes, of course. I do believe she is. What is it now? I just don't know. What should I do next? You figure it out, we believe in you. And I can't reach her. I'm kinda curious if she says anything if you like use a cheat code to extend your reach or something. Would be interesting. Cecil, if you hadn't come to my cell tonight, I would be gone by now without ever having known any of this. This is what I deserved. That's what I told myself these past 5 years. But things are different now. Thanks to you, my eyes have finally been opened. Tonight, I come into contact with a lot of people's lives and got involved in their fates. And the only reason I was doing it was to regain my own lost memory. But things are different now. We connected to each other somehow, I just know it. And that's why I need to ask you a few more questions in order to find the truth about this. Fair enough, fire away. Caesar told me all about it, Detective Yode. About the manipulator. Yes, and it looks like this manipulator really did a number on the minister too. Arg! Please don't pick on the minister. If he dies again, I'm the one who has to save him. Okay. Cecil, do you think that's what happened to me too? What are you talking about, Lion? Don't tell me. You were manipulated too? There was a part of me that just couldn't believe it. That image of the one who shot me. But now I see the possibility of a new explanation. But who is it and why did they do it? The contraption was a birthday surprise for Camille's mother, wasn't it? That's right. Something's been bothering me about it. I feel like I know that device from somewhere. No surprise there. You lost your life once tonight because of that machine. Right, I knew it. See, Detective Yode? No, I'm afraid I don't see. I told Detective Yode about it. Told him about seeing the exact same contraption tonight in a completely different place. That's very strange indeed. A junkyard on the edge of town? I never heard of the place. And what's more, I never told a single soul about the contraption. You haven't? That old pigeon guy. Where in the world is he? Detective Yode, you must have heard this name before. Temsek. The meteorite that fell in the park 10 years ago. You were there. So you found out about that, didn't you? I hear that the meteorite saved little Lion's life. That's right. I couldn't do anything to help Lion that day. But in that case, I don't get it. If it's true, doesn't it mean you didn't steal somebody's life anyway? Away? What are you talking about? Detective Yode, you told me that 10 years ago. The person who killed the perpetrator in the park was you. What? But it was the meteorite. I wasn't lying. I stole the